you beautiful people. I am so excited. Today is Friday. It may not be Friday when you listen to this podcast. However, welcome back to another episode of Influence and Growth Mastery. This is Tanya Gossage, your guide on mastering the art of making authentic connections, growing your audience, and leveraging your influence to create an impactful and thriving business using artificial intelligence. Today, I want to talk about the power of core values in your business. And honestly, not in just your business, but in life in general. We should have core values that we live by, work by, and do everything by. And I have to tell you, I guess I should be honest and say, I judge people by values, and I do business with people based upon how they conduct themselves. And to me, that's core values. So this topic is so near and dear to my heart. Creating and displaying your core values for your business. And this may be because of my previous background in corporate banking, because I had such I'll call it a line to toe. I was taught that everything that I did was a reflection upon the business that I worked for, which many of you already know was a bank. And everything I said reflected upon that bank. Everything that I did socially reflected upon that bank. And so I even taught people as a trainer that if you, I can't tell you, this is not planned to say, but I'm going to say it. I taught people in class when we onboarded employees because we wanted this ingrained into them, because our CEO and our top level executives were such, I'll say, pristine professionals. And when I started working at that company, it was such an honor and a privilege to work for that company back then. It was hard to get a job there. And you were looked at as somebody, a great professional, an influencer to be able to work for that company. And so to me, core values were like written in stone, and you had to abide by them. So I think that's why they're so near and dear to my heart. But I used to say in training classes that if you go and dance on the tabletops at the bars on the weekends, that reflected on our company. That was a reflection not only of you and who you are, but a reflection of who our company is. Because our clients, our customers look at you as the bank. And so what I'm saying to you today is it's so important to create your core values and live by those core values. And we're going to talk about what my core values are in my company. And I stand by those core values. I make decisions in my company based upon those. I make decisions on who my clients are going to be based upon my core values. I have broken off relationships with people in my personal life and in my professional life based upon my core values. And so whether you are a seasoned entrepreneur just starting out, Understanding and defining your core values, it's so important. And so these values, they're the guiding principles that dictate your business. They dictate your business behaviors and your actions. Just like I said, going back to onboarding our employees back in the corporate world, they help you differentiate your brand from other brands. They help you attract new clients based upon who you are and what you believe in. And they help you create a cohesive company culture. People will follow you based upon what your core values are. And I have to tell you, not everybody has the same company and personal core values. What my core values are can be totally different than what your core values are or what somebody else's core values are. So let's go ahead and dive in and explore why core values are so important and how you can define and showcase them in your business. So first of all, let's talk about why they're necessary. I just summed up a few here already. But core values, they're more than just words. More than just words on my wall or a page on your website. They're the foundation, as I said a while ago, they're the foundation of my business. They're the foundation of your business. They guide your decision-making processes. They influence your company culture and communicate what you stand for to your clients, to your employees, to any partners that you bring into your company. And for new entrepreneurs, defining your core values might seem like a very daunting task. I sometimes give my booklet, I'll call it, my ebook, my booklet of core values that has, I don't even know. It's more than 100 words to choose from of values that you can choose from. And I ask you to start with 75 to 100, then scale it back. If you start with 100, scale it back to 75, then scale it back to 50, then scale it back to 25, then scale it down to 10, and then scale it down to 5. And if you want to scale it down to bigger chunks than that, I'm okay with that. But the ultimate goal is to get down to 5 core values that you're going to choose as your personal and professional values for your company. And believe it or not, there are companies out there that have been in business for quite some time that have not identified or created their 5 core values. And in my opinion, again, strictly my opinion, because I don't want to step on any toes, they don't know how they're truly operating authentically, and their decision-making processes are complicated. Mine are not complicated. Do you meet these 5 core things? Does this decision go around these 5 core things? If not, it's a no-go. Excuse me, I gotta get a drink real quick. So when you create these values from the get-go, they provide such a sense of direction and they help you stay aligned to your mission, especially during challenging times. They help you stay aligned to your vision And again, for the experienced entrepreneurs who haven't taken the time to clearly identify their core values, it's never too late to do that. If you don't have that list or a list, I'm help you to send. I'm very welcome to send you mine. Be happy to do that. Just reach out to me. But to articulate your core values, it can be rejuvenating to have that guideline to go by, because it provides so much clarity and focus in your business. Now, let's discuss that process. Here's some steps to help you get started to reflect on those personal values. It truly is an extension of yourself. So I mentioned how I have people do it, to start with the 100, the 75, scale back. But it's an extension of yourself. Take the time to reflect on truly what matters most to you. What is so important to you day in and day out? What principles guide your personal life? And how do these principles influence your business decisions? It truly is that simple. If you have a team, maybe get your team involved and let them help you decide. Get their input to provide valuable insights that resonates with the entire organization, and then scale them back. Identify themes. Look for common themes in your reflections and the discussions that you have with your clients. What themes seem to be common? And maybe some of those are your core values. But you want to keep it simple and keep it authentic. You want to avoid jargon, because if people don't understand, they don't buy. Where there is confusion, people don't buy. You've heard that probably many, many, many times. And I have to tell you, that's so accurate today. Write them down or get my guide and circle them and then begin to cross them out. Make sure that once you have them, they're visible to you, they're visible to people on your team, and that you communicate them in your messaging. You communicate them in your stories, in your reels, in your post, in your blogs, in your newsletters, in your emails, whatever it is that you're doing, that those are prominently communicated. Now, let's talk a little bit about my core values. What do I stand for at Gossage Performance Consulting? And I'll be honest with you, I talked about the entrepreneur, the coach, the trainer, the podcaster, the speaker, the network marketer who didn't have core values to start with. And I said, there's confusion. You can't make good, clear decisions. Things don't align. And how do I know that? I'm raising my hand. From experience, I've been there. They say, experienced coaches, trainers, speakers, podcasters, entrepreneurs, small business owners, they say, identify your core values, create your about section. What is your story? Create your mission statement. Create your mission statement. Why do they say that? Because they've been there and done that. I didn't do it at first either. And guess what? I did not have clarity. And now I'm teaching the same thing, because when I did it, I am mission focused. I'm vision focused. I'm core value focused. And when I make decisions, they now follow a guideline. They follow a framework. They follow a strategy. Things line up so much better when you follow the rules, I'll say. Action takers, they don't always follow the rules. They like to think like there is no box. Instead of staying in the guidelines of the box, I like to act like there is no box. Although when I was in banking, I created procedures. I had to have people follow the procedures. I had to make sure they followed the procedures. I had to make sure they stayed within the guidelines and write them up if they didn't. So I walked this line of, you got to stay in the box. Let's go to the gray lines. Let's get outside the box. So I'm this personality that can fit in all of them, but I love to drive 90 miles an hour and act like I didn't see the speed limit, okay? So I did the same thing, but I've learned from experience. You got to have core values. So let's talk about mine. The number one core value at Gossage Performance Consulting is integrity. You must have integrity to work with me. You must have integrity to partner with me. You must have integrity to be a client for me. And when that rule or that value is broken, it's almost like, and I've taught my son, I teach my grandchildren, it's better to tell the truth than to tell a lie. Because when I find out, there's poopy to pay. Mimi, mama, coach doesn't like the lack of integrity. I just don't like the lack of integrity. And that's one of the reasons I had to leave my corporate job. There were things happening that I just didn't like. I'm not saying who that came from. I'm not saying that came from the top. I'm not saying that came from the middle. I'm not saying that came from the bottom. I'm not laying any blame. I'm just saying I just didn't like things and I had to go. I've spent $25,000 before in a program. And a year in, had to walk away because of integrity. I don't do business with lack of integrity. That's the cornerstone of every single thing that we do. It means from being honest and having strong moral principles. For me, integrity is about doing the right thing even when nobody is watching. It builds the utmost trust and fosters the most positive reputation. I'm going to give you a quick story and then I'm going to go on to the second one, which closely follows integrity. I had a vehicle for sale and I had someone who wanted to see it. I drove it to meet them this past week. Long story short, the vehicle did sell. The person was a mechanic that was going to buy it. I drove it halfway, stopped to get gas, and it wouldn't start. I knew there was a battery issue. The person knew there was a battery issue, but it stopped. Wouldn't start. Called my husband. He said, tell them something has come up. You can't show it to them tonight. Now, something did come up. He wasn't lying. Something came up. But I was like, I got to tell him the battery's not starting. That's me. Come out. Tell the truth. Be honest. Be upfront. He wasn't being honest. He just said, tell him something come up and you're not going to show it tonight. He wanted to come to Russellville and follow me all the way to where I was going and take a look at it. Well, then it ended up being too late to take care of it. So he drove all the way back. 2 hours, ended up being 4 hours for him. The next day, I was then able to tell them what happened. It was no big deal. All taken care of. But I couldn't hardly sleep that night because I was like, I told them something came up. I wanted to tell them the battery died. And so, but what happened was it charged back up and I was able to drive it all the way. the vehicle sold. They're going to change out the battery. Everything is good. But I have to tell you, integrity, trust. Number 2, trust. Trust is everything to me. It's the foundation of any strong relationship in business. It's about being reliable and dependable. When clients and partners trust you, they can depend on you. And they're more likely to engage with you and recommend your services to others. My entire business, as I've told you before, has been built upon referrals. Trust. Connections. Number 3, connections. Networking and building authentic relationships are at the heart of my business. Connections are not just about meeting you and leaving you. Connections are about creating that authentic relationship, creating meaningful and lasting relationships that are valuable to not just me, but also valuable to you. I had the best in-person networking meeting in my town last week. I'm an ambassador leader for my community in Alignable, and I'm responsible for having a monthly in-person meeting. We had the best networking meeting last week by allowing everybody to talk about if they were looking for a collaborative partner, what would that partner look like? I cannot tell you how many people knew of partners for those individuals. It was so powerful. And I have one to reach out to 2 people now today. That's meaningful relationships. Build relationships where you can build a business upon referrals. There's nothing like it. Freedom. Freedom. Number 4, freedom is about having the flexibility to create the life and business that you desire. My granddaughter's here with me this week. It has been so much fun. We've gone shopping. We've gone out to eat during the day. I have slept in the last 2 mornings. It has been so refreshing. The freedom to do what you want to do, to travel, spend time with your kids, your family, to do the things that you don't have to clock in or be on that salary to where you have to report 8 to 5, 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever that schedule is, to be able to work from home and to do the things and empower yourself and others to make the choices that align with your values and your goals. And the next one, the 5th one for me, family. For me, family is not just about blood relationships, but it is about community. My family includes my community. It's my support system that we build around us. My Facebook group is my family. My networking group is my family. When I had the conversation the other day with the individual who bought my vehicle, it came through a referral, someone in the family. And when I had a conversation with her, I made the comment about her being in the family. Do you know that that comment blessed that individual so much? She had so much joy that she called someone and repeated that. You never know what you say, how it's going to impact people. Connections mean so much to me. Building authentic relationships with your family, with your friends, with your networking people, with your clients. Having trust and integrity and freedom. Those values mean so much to me. I feel myself getting emotional, and I am not going to do that on a podcast. But my core values are deeply rooted in me, both personally and professionally. And I take what I do to heart. And I take these core values very seriously. And you should highlight your core values on your website, your marketing materials, demonstrate them in every client interaction, in your storytelling. It's a powerful way to share who you are on social media and to attract the right people to you by living up to what you create as your core values. Remember, it's more than just words. It's more than just a list of phrases. They are essential in your business, and they play a critical role in shaping your brand, shaping your culture, and shaping your relationships. Whether you're a new entrepreneur or whether you're an experienced pro, seasoned pro, and have not created them, you should go back and take the time to define them and then display them, because it can make a significant impact on your success. I love you guys. I love you guys. I feel like that as I record these podcasts, I am creating a connection with you because I get so passionate about this stuff. I feel like I'm reaching out and building a connection with you. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Influence and Growth Mastery today. And if you found this episode valuable, please share it. Share it with your network. Leave me a review. And remember, your core values are at the heart of your business. Please nurture them, live by them, and let them guide you. Let them guide you to your success. And until next time, keep growing, keep influencing. You are the best. And it's you that are going to take you to your success. This is Tanya Gossage, and I am signing off. I love you.